Hello friends, welcome in the world of machine learning, a practical approach programming under machine learning using Python series of lecture. This is lecture 2, machine learning life cycle. Hi, I am Dr. Sunil from GCS Solution. Now the contents of the current lecture are Anaconda and Python for machine learning. We'll see the importance of Anaconda and Python. Then we'll learn in details machine learning life cycle. Now let us see the importance of Anaconda and Python. So Anaconda IDE is the best IDE for implementation of machine learning algorithms. The advantage of using Anaconda is you need not separately install Python, you need not separately install the other libraries which are required for machine learning. All the most frequently used and important libraries of Python for implementation of machine learning are embedded in Anaconda IDE itself. Now to install Anaconda, you go to Google and type Anaconda install or download Anaconda. You will be getting a list of links, and of that you will find some link www.anaconda.com/product/individuals, and if you scroll down the page, you will find the interface which is shown in the left hand side figure. So you will get here Anaconda, image of Anaconda IDE, user interface makes learning easy, some sort of description like this, and here you'll find a button install Anaconda. If you click on Anaconda button, so Anaconda will be first downloaded, and then you will start installation after download. And installation of Anaconda is a self-explanatory process. It's very easy. It is as good as downloading your games and then playing with the games. But do remember, playing with Python using Anaconda is not gameplay. It's a programming. Now let us come to the Anaconda part. Once you have got your Anaconda installed, so you may start Anaconda, and once Anaconda is up and running, you will be getting the environment, working environment or GUI environment, like which is shown in the right hand side figure. So here you will see Anaconda Navigator. In this Anaconda Navigator you will find so many other applications important for machine learning implementation, like you will get a Jupyter notebook or a Spider I mean to say Spider IDE for Python. You may even get a RStudio. So there are so many other applications which are basically used in industry level implementation of machine learning. So we'll be using Anaconda, and in that we'll be using a Spider. So here if you install Spider IDE, next time when you start Anaconda, you'll be getting open Spider. Once you see that, you may start using the Spider IDE. Now let us see Spider environment, Spider IDE environment. So once you install Spider, Anaconda will give you the icon where you have to click and open the Spider IDE, or else you can go to Anaconda prompt and type SPYD or Spider and press enter. You will be getting Spider IDE up and running. Now let us see the Spider IDE environment. In this environment you will be getting an editor to type your program. So for example, you can store your program with extension .py. You will be getting some other panes, like you have a variable explorer or a file explorer. Then below that variable and file explorer, you will see IPython console. You may even see history log, through which you can execute the previously executed commands which are saved by Python Spider IDE. Now if you want to use this ID, you have to type the program. For example, in this program, I have just typed hello Python and I have saved this file with hello.py. And now there are certain tools to work with the environment. Here we will find there is a green button, which is highlighted with red arrow. If you press this, Spider will execute this program in background and will show you output in the IPython console. Now if you see the right hand side pane, which is here shown here, you will get hello Python printed. So you will see some series of command executed by Spider in background, and after that you will get the output. So this way it is very simple. But do remember, we'll be using this ID for writing machine learning related programs. So it will be a very fantastic journey to work with Spider ID. Now I recommend you to learn my course, which is uploaded in the separate playlist under the same channel. You may go and study over there the programming aspects of Python, which I have uploaded as a separate series of lectures. So I recommend you to go and learn Python, and then you start working with machine learning. Here my assumption is that you have already learned Python, you have a fair level knowledge of Python to understand machine learning implementation using Python. Now let us see the life cycle. Now life cycle of machine learning defines the way machine learning is implemented in the real world. Now there are several major steps to implement any machine learning algorithm depending on the domain under consideration, but the generic life cycle is shown in the left hand side figure, and a specific 7-step of implementation which are widely used are shown in the right hand side figure. So there are overall 9 steps, generic steps. These are also the steps of data science or machine learning. Now here is problem definition, data collection, data wrangling or data cleaning, exploratory data analysis, that is also called as EDA, feature engineering, model building, optimization, visualization and deployment of the machine learning model. And widely accepted 7 steps are gathering data, then data preparation, data wrangling or cleaning, exploratory data analysis, also called as data analysis simply, training the model, testing the model, and then deployment the model. So these are the 7 steps widely used. More or less you will find that these forms of steps are followed while implementing the actual algorithm. You may find that some of these steps might even be combined to form a single step. For example, data preparation and data wrangling and cleaning, these are in many cases the steps combined together as a single step to be implemented while implementing machine learning algorithms. That we'll see in details. You need not worry now. Now let us see the 7 steps one by one. So the first step is data gathering or a gathering of data. Now to implement any machine learning algorithm, data is of prime importance, because unless and until you have a lot of data for analysis, your machine learning model will not be able to predict up to the expectation level. So for different domains, data will come from various sources like files, database, then internet or mobile device, because whatever data we want to analyze under machine learning, that data might be stored in form of some files, that is database files or CSV files or some Excel file or some in so many other forms, or in databases or in internet like Twitter data, or you may have a data of feedback given by the users, or data coming from mobile devices in form of voice or say any other means. So that data is basically stored in various forms. Now, quantity and quality of collected data will determine the efficiency of output. Now, to do accurate prediction using our machine learning algorithm, we need large amount of data, and that too in correct format. Now, to get this data, large amount of data in correct format, we need to identify various data sources. For example, here quantitative data collection tools are like face-to-face discussion, online data you get from some source, or you may get data from a phone call. You may call the expert and discuss with them and then get the data, desired data. You may get some data through mails, but all these data is in different format. But whatever data you will be using for analysis, that should be in proper and unique format, so that machine learning algorithms will be able to work on that data. Now, to achieve that, you need to collect the data, you need to integrate the data which is obtained from various sources, and once you have organized the data in proper way, then you can work on that properly formatted data, which is called as data set. Now, data set is nothing but a set of data which is in proper format or on which the machine learning algorithms are applied. Now, we will learn these data set concepts as a separate lecture, and with that we'll see how different types of data are available and how to organize data for the use of machine learning algorithms. Now let us see the next phase of the machine learning life cycle. Now here I have combined two phases together, that is data preparation and data cleaning. Basically, data preparation covers everything: data cleaning and data proper formatting of the data. Now the issues involved in addressing the problems found in raw data are like finding the missing or incomplete records. For example, assume that a customer opens an account in bank, but maybe at the time of opening of the account, he or she may not submit Aadhaar card details and say PAN card details, because without this also you can open the bank account just by giving your valid ID proof like electric bill and driving license. That is enough for opening the account, or even ration card. But that time it is not mandatory to submit Aadhaar. Okay, at later point of time you are going to submit these details, but bank does have these fields in the record wherein all customer details are saved. But what will be the status of these two fields? These two fields will be null or not applicable now, but these fields will be updated later. But there are so many entries wherein you will find the data of customer is filled in proper way. All the fields of the record are filled with proper information, or there might be records in which information is missing. So how to deal with these things? Because machine learning algorithm needs to know that what should be the way with which this missing data should be handled, and it is you who tell the algorithm how to handle this. Now other things like outlier or anomalies you will find in the data. So data which is either unexpected or not fitting in the required attribute criteria needs to be sorted out. Next is improperly formatted or structured data. So here consistency in different format or location is to be sorted out. For example, if you have at some places some customer mention his amount in USD and some customer mention his amount using dollar symbol, both are having same meaning but different format. So there should be consistency whether you are using USD or dollar. There might be a date format like MMDDYY, that is two digit specification of month, date and year. Month, date and year. There might be even specification like month, date and year, month 2 digits, date 2 digits and year 4 digits. So this is also possible, but you have to stick to only one format. So that thing you have to sort out. This is nothing but formatting the data and cleaning the data. This is called data preparation altogether. Now there might be inconsistent values and non-standard categorical variables. So in certain cases you'll find that variations in variables like company names or state. For example, someone may specify the country India, or there might be abbreviation IND. So you have to stick to one notation, because machine learning algorithm, when see the field called country name, will either be dealing with INDI or IND. You have to tell that what should be the final format of that particular field. So there are so many issues like this. You will be find a lot of fields involved as a part of your machine learning data, and to make that data consistent and uniform, you have to work on data preparation and data cleaning as well. So you have to use some standardization that will greatly improve the model accuracy. That means the more proper model is, the more accurate results you will be getting when you apply any machine learning algorithm. Now there might be limited or space features attributes. For example, you may find that there are two data sets wherein customer ID is the key field used. If both the data sets are having customer ID, it is very easy to establish relation between these two data sets, as they are having a common attribute called customer ID. But consider now that you have to link two databases or data sets, and in first data set you have customer first name and customer last name as two different attributes, and now you want to establish a relation between this first data set having first name and last name as a separate attribute with the another data set having only one column called customer full name. Now this customer full name comprises of first name and last name, so it's very difficult to set a relation between these two data sets. Now if you have some requirement that you need to predict something using two different data sets, but if these two different data sets don't have common protocol of specifying the attribute names, then it is very difficult to combine these two data sets to predict something new or some new thing. So you need to take care of all these things. So all these things come under data preparation and data cleaning. Now you may need even feature engineering. For example, to get a more proper result or accurate result, you need to focus on data featuring, or you may need to add so many features by your own. For example, if company provides you the sales year wise, but at the same time expects you to predict the sales fortnightly, then it's very difficult to work on the data which is given year wise. You may need to divide that data, that is year wise data, in month wise and even week wise or a day wise. So what you need to have is a daily transaction, per day transaction, having even timestamps also. So this granularity is needed by you to predict. It is not the requirement of company. Company collects data as a one-shot data of year-wise sales, perhaps months involved in it, but you need to focus on the granularity, and that is called feature engineering. So you do this to make your model more relevant and accurate for prediction. So we'll see these things practically. You need not worry now. Now let us see the next phase of machine learning life cycle, that is exploratory data analysis. To understand this, first we need to understand what data set is. Data set is a set of data having records with so many attributes to save information related to certain entity. For example, if customer opens an account in bank, so there are so many attributes related to the customer which are saved in form of records of dataset. For example, customer name, customer account number, customer ID, customer address, mobile number, then the job profile or job profile or the balance, whether it is salary account or not, then the transaction way the way transactions are done. So these are the details stored as a information about the customer. Now a bank manager wants to do analysis that of the existing customers, how many customers can take a loan from bank, so that they may be given follow up or they may be pursued to take a loan. Now to decide this, one needs to analyze the data. So data analysis expert will take this raw data and will try to analyze that what are different fields or what is the specific field which will help my algorithm to predict more accurately that of the existing customers, which group of customers are going to take a loan. Now for that analysis, machine learning expert may see univariate visualization and summary statistic of the raw data. He may take individual field and will see that a person taking loan, this prediction is basically dependent on which single attribute, whether it is a name or a salary or expenses or a saving attribute of the customer. Now in case of bivariant visualization and summary statistic, data analyst will try to establish the relation between the dependent and independent variables. For example, whether a customer will take a loan or not. So take a loan is a dependent variable, and this name of the customer, account number, mobile number, salary, savings, these are independent attributes or independent variables. Now to establish relation between these two, he may use bivariant visualization and summary statistics. He may even use multivariant visualization statistics. For example, he may even decide that name or mobile number or address is not going to contribute to decide whether a person will take a loan or not. Rather, balance, savings, and the salary, these are important attributes which will combiningly decide whether a person will take a loan or not. So this way he may work on one attribute of the data set or two attributes or multiple attributes. So this we learn at length in practical sessions of the Python for machine learning. So you need not worry now. Then in analysis, analyst may even do dimensional reduction. For example, if I want to decide whether a customer will take a loan or not, then this customer mobile number, address, customer ID, these are not playing any role. These fields are not contributing anything to decide whether customer will take a loan from a bank or not. Rather, salary, then his savings, his expenses, these are the attributes which will play a role. Now I can reduce the size of the data set. I can drop some of the attributes from the table and can reduce, so that I can do more properly the analysis, and thereby I reduce the volume of the data. Now for deciding that whether prediction out of this can be done or not is decided using some specific machine learning algorithms. For example, classification, regression, cluster analysis, association. So you may apply one or all or some on the given data set, because prediction is basically a thing which can be done by applying a single machine learning algorithm, or you may use combiningly two or more than two algorithms to do the prediction. That we'll see practically in the subsequent sessions rather. Now once you have decided all this, once you have done proper analysis, now your machine learning model is ready for the next phase. Now next phase is training the model. Once your clean data set is available with the model, then various machine learning algorithms can be applied on that model. Now that machine learning algorithm which will be used for prediction will be using something called a training data set. That data set is training data set. Means suppose you have 1000 records, of that you may use 800 records to train the model. So that is clean data set. That data set has passed through all the earlier machine learning life cycle phases, and now it has came to the stage of training the model. So once your data is ready, clean data is ready, you can divide that data in training and testing sets. So if you decide out of 1000, if you decide to take 800 records for training, so with that 800 records, that model will be trained, and that training phase is nothing but model is trying to understand the patterns in the data, the rules associated with the data, and the features of the data, and with that it will train itself, and if some new input is given to the model, it will try to predict something based on the knowledge it has, and that knowledge is gained in the training phase. Now once you are trained, you may even test the data model. So as I told, out of 1000 records, you may use 800 for training and 200 for testing. Now you can see whether the model will predict properly the result for remaining 200 records or not. If your model is fine-tuned and it has achieved certain level of accuracy, then that model can be used for the further processing. That means you can integrate that model to the real world application, and that's what is the next phase, deployment of the model. So your deployment is nothing but taking the trained model and clubbing or embedding or plugged in with the real-time application. For example, you have a e-commerce website, or you may have, for example, Amazon website wherein customer buys some things. Now in that case, what you find is this online sale itself is the broader domain, but that application, Amazon application, in background uses some machine learning model. For example, if you buy some product, you will get a list of suggestions that you may even buy this. How come that suggestion comes to you? That suggestion is basically given with the help of some machine learning model which is working with the Amazon sales model, that is sales application, which is also a full-fledged application for buy and sell processes. So this application in background is using some machine learning model which predicts based on your buying pattern and browsing patterns. So your main application, Amazon application, is using in background some prediction application of machine learning. So this way the deployment of machine learning model is done with the real-time system, and then it is monitored and it is tested with the new data, and it is analyzed whether it works properly or not. If not, then again you have to go back to the earlier phases of, say, training it, testing it, and again retraining it and testing it until you get a proper accurate model of prediction. So dear friends, here we'll end up with the machine learning life cycle. This was just a brief introduction of machine learning life cycle. We'll be learning all these things practically using hands-on in Pythons. So dear learners, how was the lecture? It was just a brief overview. Just give me your feedback. We'll be learning everything practically using Python. So till next lecture, be with us. We are GCS Solution, making technology easy to learn. Till next lecture, happy coding.